guys. It's December the 30th, 2024, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful Monday so far today. It is, it's about 2:30 in the afternoon right now, and I had to go to a doctor's appointment this morning. I just got home just a little bit ago. We were up until really late last night. I was talking about in yesterday's video that we were going to go see those Christmas lights at the Riverbank Zoo. And we went last night. I think we got there around like 6 o'clock last night, somewhere around there, and we didn't leave until late. I don't remember exactly what time we got home, but it was like 10:30 or something like that. And as soon as I got home last night, I got to uploading the video, and then I started replying back to comments. I tried replying to comments all day yesterday. I mean, all day long. And got home, I replied to comments until almost 1 o'clock in the morning last night. So if I have yet to get to your comment, and I am still trying. It's just, like I said the other day, it's just a matter of time, just running out of time. And there are so many comments. I'm not, please continue to comment. I'm not complaining about that at all. It's just, I don't want people to think I'm just leaving them hanging, because I'm not. I'm just trying to get to them. And when I get done doing this video today, I'm going to go outside and hop back on the comments and try finishing replying to those. Because, I mean, the thing is last night, I was reading off some of the comments to my wife. This is after we had gotten home and everything. I cannot look at my phone or anything while I'm in a vehicle. I get way too car sick. But I was talking to my wife and reading some of those off last night to her, and she was just blown away. I mean, there were just so many people just pouring their hearts out in the comments. So many people that have recently gotten sober. So many people just doing so great. I'm so proud of everybody on this channel. I have no idea how many people told me that they had 10 days, 30 days, 3 years. I mean, the numbers were all over the place, but just so many people with sobriety. And it makes me so happy to see that. It really does. Because we really do have an epidemic in our country right now. And, the thing is that, all you ever hear about is the opioid epidemic and the fentanyl epidemic and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, we have an epidemic of AUD in our country right now. And, there are a lot of people that are passing away from the opioid epidemic, but there's more people passing away from alcohol. So many people die from, alcohol-related illnesses, alcohol-related accidents. It's just the full gamut. And I hate seeing that, anybody gets sick from this or any aspect of it. I mean, it's just horrible. And like I said the other day, that's why I come on here every single day to talk about this, because I just think that education is so important. And my thing is that I just started this channel blindly, and I just made a video and threw it out there to see what happened. I threw the pasta against the wall and it stuck, and people started watching. And I've just continued to make videos every day to try to educate, hoping that by some chance, it'll be recommended in somebody's recommended feed, and they'll just decide to click on the video, and they might watch, and it might be the day that they make the decision. Somebody might already be kind of fed up with it. It's starting to take control of their life and start to affect their lives in ways that they don't want it to, and maybe they've been thinking about it really hard, and next thing you know, they just pop across one of these videos, watch it, and go, you know what, I don't want to end up like that, so I'm going to quit. And I just read a lot of comments like that in yesterday's video, or the day before's video, and it just really it got me. Those comments really pull at my heart. It just makes me so happy to see that kind of stuff on here. And the thing is, I get so many people that tell me that I've helped them along. I've helped them in so many ways to get sober, and I really appreciate when people say that. I mean, I really, really do. But at the end of the day, for all of you guys out there who have said that, you did the hard work. I just made videos. I mean, there's work involved in this, absolutely, and it takes a lot of time. to do the videos every day and reply to comments and all that kind of stuff. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not the one at home going through withdrawal, feeling uncomfortable, just uncomfortable in your own skin. I mean, that's you. You're the one that did that. And, be proud of yourself, because quitting drinking is not easy. Or whatever it is that you're quitting. It's not easy to do, especially if it's something that you do on a daily basis. Once you remove that, there's a gap in your life, and you just, it's hard to fill that. And like I was talking about in yesterday's video, talking about sobriety and all the things that come along with it, some of the positive things that happen when we get sober. One of them is, I was talking about, is just, our friends and our family, they're proud of us, they're happy with us. And not just that, but just the time that we can spend with our friends and our family, and the meaningful time that we spend with our friends and our family. It's one thing, and I'll just use myself, for instance, and I'll just use the holidays, for instance. Every year, we go to my mother-in-law's house on Christmas Eve, and then we go to my parents' house on Christmas Day. That's every year. Every year we do the same thing. And every year, when I was a drinker, and when we go over there, we don't just go for an hour and leave. I mean, we're there the whole entire day. I would go to my mother-in-law's house, drink while I was over there, wasn't present because I was drinking, and I just wasn't there mentally. And then the next day we go to my parents' house, and I would just get wasted over there. I wasn't spending quality, meaningful time with my family by any means. And really the only person that I ever really spent any time with, like especially if we go to my parents' house, is I would hang out with my brother outside. My dad has a big fire pit, and every year he'll make a big bonfire in there. And my brother and I would just go sit outside by the fire and just take shots all night long. We'd open up the presents and go outside and drink. And then it's time for dinner, so we'd come inside, then go right back outside again to drink. I didn't spend any meaningful time with my family. I just got drunk the whole entire time I was there. That was focus number one. My main focus was, where's the alcohol? Let's start drinking, and let's get as drunk as we possibly can, as quick as we possibly can. And I would do that. And then next thing you know, I'm passed out on the couch while everybody's sitting around me opening up presents. And it had become such a normal thing that, when people saw me passed out, it was just like, oh, he's got drunk too early and passed out. That's just him. Which is, one of those things that, I just didn't feel great, people thinking of me in that manner, that I was that guy. But that's who I had become, and that's what I identified with, was being the drunk guy. It's just who I was. And now that I don't drink anymore, I don't identify as that any longer. And I spend quality time and meaningful time with my family when I'm with them. I'm not wasting it away just drinking the whole entire time. And, just like last night, for one, if I was a drinker, I would have used any excuse I could have to get out of going yesterday to those Christmas lights. I just would not have wanted to go. For a couple of reasons. Number one, I wouldn't have wanted to go because I would have cut into my drinking time, especially leaving, our house at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever time we left. Actually, it was earlier than that. We left here, was it 3:30? I think it was like 3:30 yesterday when we left. But I wouldn't have wanted to leave at that time because I wouldn't have been able to drink the way that I wanted to. And if I had to go, like if my wife said, you're going and you don't have an option, I would have made sure that I had, a 20-ounce Sprite bottle that was completely filled up with vodka, and I would have been pouring drinks and mixing drinks all the way up there. I would have snuck liquor into the zoo. I would have been drinking while I was in the zoo. I would have drank the whole way home. I would have drank the whole entire time. I probably would have had a cooler with some beer in it. My wife would have been upset with me because I'm sitting over there in the passenger side seat trying to hide the fact that I'm, pouring vodka into my cup. And she'd go, "What are you doing over there?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just pouring my Sprite in my cup." I always thought I was being so slick, and I know good and well that she could smell it. I mean, as soon as I opened up the cap on that bottle, I mean, the smell of vodka is, it's not easy to hide. I mean, it smells like hand sanitizer, but I didn't know that back then. I drank all the time, so I could barely ever smell it. And now that I don't drink, if somebody squirts hand sanitizer on their hand, they're 20 feet away, I can smell it. But back to what I was saying, the point of it is that, when I was a drinker, I wouldn't have wanted to go. And if I had gone, I wouldn't have been present. I would have been drinking the whole time, but when I've been walking around acting ridiculous in front of my family, I probably would have said something really embarrassing to somebody while we were there. I would have embarrassed my wife and my kids. I would have been acting obnoxious, not acting my age, running around the zoo, being loud. I would have upset my wife 100%. We would have been in an argument once we got home, but that's not the case. I was sober. We got to the zoo. We took pictures before we walked in. As soon as we walked in, the first thing I asked is where they wanted to go. Things I would have been selfish. We would have walked in there and I would have said, "I want to go this way." And I don't know why that is. I don't know, why myself, I've become more pleasant as a human being since I've removed alcohol from my life. I'm more polite. I'm way more reserved and more quiet than I ever was. But I think about other people more than I did when I was a drinker. And I don't know what it is about being in active addiction and being so selfish. But that's the way that I was. I was completely selfish. Selfish in every single aspect of my life, pretty much. I'm not like that anymore, and I don't know why that changed. I don't know if this, the experiences that I've had with getting sick and being humbled, I don't know if that's played a big role in it, which I'm sure it has. The fact that I've had a lot of time to think about who I used to be. I've done a lot of self-reflection over the past couple of years, and I was just talking to my wife about this the other night, about how I've had so much time alone. And during those periods of being alone here at the house, there's a lot of time for self-reflection. And there's a lot of days where I don't want to self-reflect, but it just happens. And I'll start doing something and I'll start thinking about something from the past. And I'll just self-reflect for a while on it. And I would have to say that I self-reflect every single day at this point now. At some point during the day, there is self-reflection. And maybe that has to do with the fact that I'm not so numb anymore that I don't even care what happens or what's going on. I would imagine that probably plays a huge role. I actually care about what's happening around me. I care about my life. I care about my health. There's not this idea of who cares, whatever. I'm never going to be able to get sober. I mean, these are the things that used to pass through my mind, I was always depressed. I was always ashamed of myself. I just carried this guilt around like a 200-pound suitcase that was strapped to my back all the time. And I was always angry. People would say something to me, I would snap at them really quick. I always thought people were out to get me for some reason. I guess I was just really just anxious and paranoid about everything all the time. And I don't think like that anymore. I'm constantly thinking about other people, thinking about other people's feelings. I'm thinking about what I can do to make somebody else's day better. And another thing too, and like I said, I don't understand. I really don't know why all these things happen after. And it's not like after I quit drinking, all this stuff just changed overnight, because it didn't. I mean, this stuff took time. But another thing too that I've noticed about myself, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who have noticed these things change with you since you've gotten sober too, is that it's not all about me anymore. And for some reason, when I was a drinker, I made everything about myself. If I was, let's say I went to Walmart and I bumped into somebody that I hadn't seen in years. When I was a drinker, I would just stand there and just talk about myself the whole entire time. Once again, I don't understand what's changed. Maybe I have grown up a lot since all this stuff's happened. Like I said, I got really humbled. But when I have an interaction with people now, it's not all about me. I don't just make it the whole conversation about me. I'm not hanging on every word, waiting for them just to take a 2-second break for me to jump right in and start talking about myself. Most of my conversations, I start asking the other person, the other party, about themselves, or giving someone a compliment. The focus is on them and not on me. I ask more questions and I talk now more than anything. And once again, why that is, I would imagine it has a lot to do with growing up. Since I quit drinking, since I got sick, because for any of you guys that are new here to the channel, I ended up getting really sick back in May of 2022, and ended up in the hospital with pancreatitis and liver failure and all this stuff. Found I had diabetes, but while I was hospitalized, I went through a medical detox, and that's how I got sober. And I've been sober ever since. But I have grown up in ways that I never thought possible since removing alcohol from my life. And I just really think that, I was living in this time capsule inside of my body. And as long as I kept feeding alcohol into that time capsule, I basically stayed the same age mentally. Leading up until I got sick, it was, I was still a 21-year-old. I was 42 years old, but I was 21 years old mentally. And over the past 2.5 years, there has been a lot of growing up that I've done. And I don't necessarily think it was something that I intentionally, I know that I didn't intentionally seek that out. I just think it just kind of organically happened since I removed alcohol from my life. Because I haven't been thinking in that childish mentality, that selfish mentality. And one thing about it too is, there's a spider on this microphone, is that I don't feel like crap all the time. I do feel sick a lot because of my illnesses, but I don't feel hungover 24 hours a day, all day long, every day of the week. And that was my life before. And, I think there was a part of that too, that I was, there was like a self-preservation type of thing, because I felt so bad that I was always just trying to feel better. And I didn't care, what it took for me to feel better. I just wanted to feel better. I felt so horrible that, my main objective was just to get to feeling back normal again. And I guess I took a lot of selfish routes in order to achieve that. And now that's not the case anymore. And, if you're watching this right now and you're thinking about getting sober, I think all of those things could potentially happen for you as well. And I'm not saying that you guys or anybody here watching is not mentally mature or anything like that. I'm saying myself, I was not mentally mature. To a certain extent I was, but I did not have the mentality of a 42-year-old man when I was 42. I thought like a 20-year-old. I thought like a 21-year-old, or maybe even younger. Everything about me was very selfish. And I don't think like that anymore. And I absolutely think that removing alcohol really kind of helped push me into the correct mind space where I needed to be. But, starting off this video, getting sober really allows us to be completely 100% present when we're with friends or family. And, more than anything else, you remember every single thing that happened. And those memories, it's the one thing that nobody can ever take away from us. You end up in the hospital, or you end up in jail, or whatever situation where your freedoms are taken away. Those memories stay with us, and it's the one thing that we can carry along with us anywhere we go, that no one can ever take away from us. And if constantly drinking, we're blackout drunk all the time, we're not even going to have any memories to begin with. But once we get sober and, we're not blacked out all the time, and, we're spending more time with our friends and our family, and like I said, more meaningful time with our friends and the family, all of those memories and all that stuff, we're going to remember it all, and we'll be able to carry that stuff along with us for years to come. Just like, that little trip to see those lights last night, I'll remember that night for the rest of my life. We took my youngest son out to dinner. What was that? Saturday night? Yeah, it was Saturday night. Just my wife, myself, my wife, and my youngest son went out to dinner because my oldest son went to go spend the night with a friend of his, and my daughter was gone for the night with her boyfriend. So it was just the three of us, and we went out back. And had dinner with my youngest son, and he's a really funny kid, by the way, and he was just joking away the whole entire time at the table. Had my wife and I just rolling, laughing. We were laughing so hard. He's hilarious, and I'm always going to remember that night with my son at the restaurant. And it's not like we went and did some huge thing. We didn't go to Disney World or some big event. We just went to Outback and had dinner. That's all we did. But I'll never forget that night. It was a very special time that I had with my son and my wife. And these are all the things that we have to look forward to when we get sober. Now, am I saying that your life's magically just gonna get 1,000 times better right away as soon as you stop drinking? I'm not saying that at all. I am saying that your life will improve, and that's just, it's guaranteed to improve to a certain extent. The one thing is, though, is that when we stop drinking, those problems that we have, they're still there. We can just attack them head on and in a more clear-headed manner. And I think that we can be more strategic with dealing with those problems, opposed to knee-jerk reactions that we do when we're intoxicated or in the middle of active addiction. I used to, and I'll just use myself for example again, I used to have a lot of really big knee-jerk reactions. If somebody did something to upset me or something, knee-jerk reaction. I might snap, start screaming, all kinds of stuff like that. To where now, if somebody says something to upset me, well, I have a couple of things to figure out here, okay? One, how important is that person to me? Is it one of those things where if they said something to upset me, can I just, say, okay, well, I don't have to talk to that person anymore? I've got that option. Or two, I can address it with that person and say, hey, this happened, you said this to me, it upset me, maybe can you not say that to me again, or blah, blah, blah. Maybe trying to work it out by talking, which is what I try to do most of the time now, is try to talk about stuff. I'm a firm believer in just getting stuff out on the table when there's an issue. I'd rather just go ahead and lay it all out. It doesn't bother me that people get upset, because it's, sometimes that's the only way to work through problems. To where before, when I was a drinker, I would just start screaming and yelling, or it was whatever. And I didn't want to hear the other party's opinion or what they thought about it or anything. It was all about what I thought in that moment. I don't care what's going on with you. I'm upset, and that's all that matters to her. Now, that's not the case. I'm willing to talk about it, and I'm willing to work with that other individual, whatever the problem is. I just don't have those knee-jerk reactions. And like I said, I'm willing to participate in an ongoing conversation and trying to work through the issue. And I absolutely believe that being able to be more mindful and act more like an adult has to do with the fact that I don't drink anymore. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who will agree with what I'm talking about. And I'm sure that a lot of you out there who have stopped drinking, your relationships and lives have improved, in ways, like I said yesterday, you probably never even imagined. You just never even would have really even thought about it that far. When we think about stopping drinking, probably number one, we're thinking about, well, our health is going to improve. And then we think about, other things, well, my health's going to improve. I'm going to save money. I'm going to lose weight. But there's all these other things that happen, like I said, that you just wouldn't even think about. Because it's just not stuff that we think about every single day. But it's just little teeny things. And it's like, it's like a domino effect on a lot of it, where, you might... That sounds weird. There's a plane. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's a plane flying up in the sky up there, and it sounds really odd, like they were about to lose power or something. Anyway, I forget. I lost my track of thought where I was at, but anyway, my point to today's video is that another one of the things that happens, when we get sober is just the improvement in our relationships and the time that we do spend with our friends and our family or doing anything meaningful. We remember it 100%. And, it just leads to creating great memories that we can remember. And just like last night when I went to the zoo with my family, I'll remember that night for the rest of my life. And it was a very special moment to me. And if I was still drinking, I would not have gone last night. I can't tell you guys how many events and times that my wife wanted to take the kids to go see Christmas lights, for example, or she wanted to go Christmas shopping, or she wanted to go to the park for the day for a picnic or something, or my kids had soccer practice, or my kids had baseball practice, or whatever it is. And I would say, I'm not feeling up to it today. I just need to stay home. And I get to see the look of disappointment in my wife's eyes every single time I would tell her no. And I said no a lot. And I didn't just always use alcohol as an excuse either. I was tired from work, but that's not what it was most of the time. It was that either one of the two things. Either I was extremely hungover or I wanted to drink, or a combination of the two, which was the case most of the time. I was always hungover and I always wanted to drink. So I would refuse to go do things and always had an excuse not to, when I could have been spending all this quality time and creating all these memories, but I just didn't. And it's a shame that I had to get to this age to finally realize and wake up to all the stuff that I've been missing out on. But hopefully, by doing these videos and speaking to you guys every day, that, whoever you are out there watching this video, that you can learn from my mistakes and not repeat and do the same things that I did. And you can, catch this situation before it becomes something really big and especially causes you health problems or causes problems in your relationships. Hopefully you decide to quit before you end up getting that divorce or losing your home because you're not paying your mortgage payment or whatever it is. Hopefully, by watching these videos or however it is that you decide to get sober, that you can make that decision in a timely enough manner to where you don't suffer any negative consequences from it. And, you had your experience with alcohol or whatever the substance is or whatever the activity is that, that you want to stop doing. You've had your experience with it, you did it, and nothing bad happened, and you get to move on with the rest of your life. And that's what I'm hoping for the majority of you. And I know that there are people on here that have cirrhosis and health-related issues because of alcohol or other substances. And, for all of you guys out there who do, I'm so sorry. I hate it for you, and I wish, if there was something I could do to take it all away and give you your health back, I would do it. But unfortunately, there's not. So for any of you guys that are dealing with that, I feel your pain. I'm right there with you. And speaking of that, I just tried calling the nurse again. I called this morning. The nurse for my interventional radiologist, I called her this morning and she didn't answer. And I right before I walked out here just a few minutes ago, I called her back again. And she actually picked up the phone this time. And, I said, hey, I just spoke with my doctor last week. He told me I'm going to have surgery. And she said, yeah. I was going to be giving you a call here in just a little bit. I got your voicemail that you left. She goes, I'm still trying to knock out a couple of other people that are in front of you. She said, but I'm going to give you a call here in just a little bit so that we can go ahead and schedule your surgery. And I just told her, I said, look, I'm not trying to rush you and I'm not trying to push, and, please don't take it like that. I just wanted to be able to tell my mom, because my mom's going to be the one giving me a ride down to Charleston and staying with me while I'm there. I just said, I just want to be able to let my mom know, if it's going to be this week or next week. If you had any sort of idea when that'll be, she goes, it's most likely not going to be this week. She goes, it's most definitely probably going to be next week. She said, but I'll have a for sure answer for you either this afternoon late or either tomorrow morning. I'll give you a call and we'll go ahead and touch base and we'll figure this out. So it's looking like it's probably not going to be this week, guys. It's going to be next week, probably the beginning of the week, I would imagine. I know that he likes to do those types of procedures on Tuesdays, which has been, for the most part, when I've had these procedures done or any type of procedure with interventional radiology. So my best guess is it's going to be probably next Tuesday when I have my surgery done. But I will keep you guys posted. As soon as I have an answer, I'm going to let you guys know. And guys, I think that's pretty much it for today. Like I said, it's just when we get sober, our relationships with friends, family, and our experiences and the things that we do, it's a night and day difference. And you remember every single thing that you do when you're doing it with them, and you get to keep those memories for the rest of your life. Think about how many times you've gone out. Let's say you went out to some expensive dinner and spent $300-$400 on a dinner or whatever, and got so drunk that you don't even remember what you even did. Or you went on some vacation to some spectacular place. You went on some cruise. I went on a cruise one time with my wife, and I barely remember anything from the whole entire cruise. The one thing that I do remember, though, and this is going to be it, and I'm going to get off of here. The one thing I do remember for that cruise is a week-long cruise. We went down to the Bahamas. I drank my tail off the whole entire time we were there, and I actually snuck liquor onto the cruise ship. I put it in, I think it was water bottles I snuck it in on. But I brought liquor with me. I bought liquor while I was there in the Bahamas as well, and I drank the whole entire time on the ship. The one thing that I do remember, I was so hungover every single day. I mean, sick. And all I did was just get plastered drunk. I mean, from the moment we walked on that ship, we got drunk the night before we got on the ship. There was a restaurant that we got on the ship in Florida, and that night we went to some restaurant and got plastered. I was with a whole bunch of people from my work, and this was a company cruise that we went on. So it was all the general managers for the company that I work for. And we went out that night. We all met up and got drunk that night. The next morning, I woke up hung over. I was late getting to the ship. I had already been drinking that morning. As soon as we got on the ship, I started going really hard. And don't remember anything. I mean, I've got teeny little specks of memories here and there from that whole entire cruise, but I barely remember a thing. The one thing I do remember for sure was the morning. Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. All right. This is all because of all the stuff I got going on. The one thing that I do remember was the morning that we were pulling back into the port after being gone that whole entire week. And I was laying there in the bed, and I heard somebody knock at the door, and then a piece of paper slid underneath the door. It was the bill, because you don't pay for your drinks on the cruise ship. Any of you guys have gone on a cruise, I'm sure most of you guys probably have, but when you go on the cruise, you don't pay for your drinks at the bar each time. You use your room key. And every time that you order drinks and you use that room key, they bill it to your room. Well, when you're intoxicated like I was, you know, you're not even thinking about any of that stuff. You know, you just go order drinks here and there, and, you know, you're just getting drunk. You're just having a good time. You know, money's not important right now. But I'll tell you what, money was important that morning when I woke up, and there was a $1,500 bill just from my drinking from that week on that cruise ship. Just from me. Ridiculous. And I had to use my credit card to pay that off, because I had to pay it. They wouldn't let you off the ship until you paid that. And I had to use a credit card. And it took me a long time to pay that off. I financed alcohol and paid interest on it. Crazy stuff. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here for today. I'm already at 35 minutes. I can't believe this video went so long. But I am going to take a little bit of the footage from last night, kind of piece it all together. I was mindful when I was filming last night and filmed it all in short little pieces. But they had these like handmade animals. It was basically, it wasn't paper, but some kind of thin material that they were using. Some kind of cloth, I would imagine. So it was like a wired sculpture that they had built, and then they wrapped it with cloth. And it was, I mean, every animal under the sun that you can imagine. I mean, lions, tigers, frogs, dogs, wolves, cats, I mean, whales, fish, everything, you know, under the sun, animal-wise. They had a sculpture of it made, and it was lit up from the inside. And guys, I'm telling you, it was one of the most spectacular light events I have ever seen in my entire life. I was completely blown away. I'm a huge lover of art. I like to create art myself, and I have a huge appreciation for it. And what I saw last night just blew me away. I mean, they had mechanical parts on like the fish, and they were like, their tails were waving back and forth, their fins were moving up and down. The whale, I've got video of it, it's going like this. The bird's wings are flapping. I mean, you name it. I mean, it was just and they had this humongous tree, like when you first walked into the zoo, this spectacular tree. It was at 40 feet tall. There were like dragons up on it and stuff. I mean, I don't know how much money they invested in this thing up there, but it's got to be $1 million or more. What they did. I mean, I was absolutely blown away, and it was ridiculously beautiful. But I'm gonna throw a bunch of those clips here at the end, maybe about 5 minutes long or something, just so you guys can see what we were walking around looking at last night. Like I said, it was really, really cool to see. And if you guys are ever in Columbia, South Carolina, around Christmas time, go check out those lights. I promise you will not be disappointed. I promise you won't. And if I think they're doing the lights for the rest of this week. I thought that last night was the last night, but I think they're doing them for the rest of the week. So if any of you guys that watch this that live in South Carolina or close to Columbia, you know, it's maybe a couple hour drive or something for you, it'd be worth your time to drive down here to check that out. I'm telling you. Now, it was a little bit pricey. I think it was like $40 a person or something like that to go see them. In my opinion, it was worth it. I mean, it really was. It was a sight to be seen, and we walked around for hours, and I was not bored one bit the whole entire time we were there. I was absolutely just blown away by what they had done there. We've gone. I said last night that we've gone like the past 5 years in a row, and that was wrong. My wife and my kids have gone the past 5 years in a row. I went last year, I think, and then I went a couple years back, but I didn't go in 2022, or I might not have gone last year. I know I didn't go in 2022. I was way too sick. During that period of time, the Christmas around from like my birthday, which is in October, all the way through to the end of the year, going into February, I was bedridden. And if I walked, I had to use a walker. So there was no way I was walking around looking at the lights. But I do think that we went last year. But I'm just telling you guys, this was the first year they've done this, and I was just completely blown away. But I'm going to stop running my mouth because I am just talking, and this video is just getting longer, and I still want to throw that part at the end of this. So, guys, I'm going to go and hop off here for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And like I said, as soon as I find out when my surgery is going to be, I'll keep you guys in the loop. But until tomorrow, I will see y'all then. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their Monday. I love you guys so much. Bye-bye.
يا صور بهذه
This thing is humongous. I think it's like 40 feet tall. Good day, mate. Somebody's got a dirty butt. He is all the way at the top. Huh? Oh. There's these things called wet wipes, man.
Oh, I love it.
What?
What if I do this?
Here's where the lions are. I don't know if they're out right now or not. It must be put away.
We'll let you do your thing. Why is the one more on the other two so big?
you're not.
I feel like they have more stuff than they did last time.
All right.
That's what everyone was saying. But they really
Great.
yeah.
Well, say cheese. You too, Sage. You're looking at the ground. Next time you got eye contact, flex it all day long. Smile, Sage. Eyes open.
You see any?
You're weird. You're not tired. Tired is completely different. Well, I guess close that. One day you'll look back at the fond memories. You'll be able to tell your mom, remember back when I was a child?